Ladies and gentlemen, today is the big day, one that I look forward to before any update. The update sneak peeks before Brawl Talk. And this time around, there is a ton of awesome speculation already and a ton of information that we can dive into. We've got an amazing sneak peek photo of the Brawl Talk thumbnail, and I got a feeling a lot of our update predictions are going to be correct here, which is really exciting. So let's dive into everything we know of here this morning. Now, before we get into all the important Easter eggs, a very quick word from today's video sponsor. Look, I think we can all agree one of the most annoying things when playing any mobile game is lag. It sucks. Which today's video sponsor, Exit Lag Mobile, is the perfect solution to that issue. With a push of a button turning Exit Lag on, your gameplay will always be free from lag. They do this by optimizing connection with over a staggering 1,000 different servers around the world and for over 800 different mobile games and apps. Much like Brawl Stars, our favorite, Call of Duty Mobile, Fortnite Mobile, Mobile Legends, Bang Bang, and so many more. Exit Lag has thousands of subscribers across the world, playing lag-free as we speak. So if you have issues with lag while you're playing your favorite games, there's no better solution for you all than giving Exit Lag a try. And the best part is you guys can get started here today with a whopping 15% off by using my code at checkout, RAY. Be sure to scan the QR code up on your screen or click the link in the description down below to get going. Normally in these types of videos, we go into the hashtag that is labeling this update, most of the time giving us a name for the next season, but this time around we don't have that. But in my opinion, we've got something just as good. Over here on the Brawl Stars premiere, the countdown waiting, we have a ton of hashtags to go through as well as the actual title of the Brawl Talk. But the hashtags that we're rocking with is hashtag Brawl Talk, hashtag Brawl Stars, hashtag Trophy Road, and then hashtag Starr Park. Now, we always knew there was going to be some semblance of lore in this update, seeing that they told us in the roadmap video that they were going to be tying the reworked Trophy Road with some in-depth lore. So how deep that's going to go for any of you lore enthusiasts out there, we don't quite know. It might not be crazy, but we'll just have to wait and see. Either way, should be some good vibes, right? But then, of course, before we move along to the thumbnail, as you can see here, the title, Brawl Talk, Trophy Road equals Starr Park. Now, we already know that, right? But I'm not gonna lie, this time around with the Easter eggs one day before the Brawl Talk, we have a lot more than usual. In the trailer for the Brawl Talk premiere, we actually have confirmation that 2 new brawlers are going to be coming and silhouettes for both, so we can dissect those, as well as information that they will both be filling out a brawler trio. Lot of info, right? So who could these trios be? We're kind of skipping the normal order of this episode here today. Instead of going directly into the Brawl Talk thumbnail, let's dive into the silhouettes that we got into the trailer. So I'm pretty dang certain about one brawler here and the trio that's going to be filled up, but the most intriguing one or the hardest one to dissect is going to be this silhouette. Now, first of all, some crucial information that we have that was given here is we have 2 brawler trios going to be rounded out with each of these brawlers. Huge shout out to Wyatt Watt for constantly updating these brawler families. I've used his posts in the past several times, but we only have a few different families to choose from here that it could possibly be. We have the Velocirapids, Starr Park Hub, Swamp of Love, Enchanted Woods, Medieval Manor, Karaoke Trio, as well as the Samurai Sushi Trio. Now, in our theories leading up to today, we had speculated that the Swamp of Love would get their family rounded out, as well as potentially the Medieval Manor, which could still be a thing. So we do have a little bit more information about this silhouette in that sneak peek photo, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But I got a feeling this brawler is going to be filling out the Swamp of Love trio. I think we have like some sort of caterpillar action going on here, and maybe like a scuba diver, like blow, whatever, what would you call that? Underwater like breathing apparatus. But there's also like these like mushroom or nails that we can see in this silhouette, as this one and the one in the thumbnail, that it's making me think that it's going to be some sort of like blow attack weapon, right? Where you shoot out nails. I'm not sure. But this silhouette I think is the easiest, seeing that we do have more information and it's giving me that vibe. It's really, really weird, which is leading me to think that it might be the Swamp of Love, seeing that we have characters like Angelo, who's like a mosquito, right? But the hardest one is this one here. So if we go off of our previous theories that the Medieval Manor might be rounding out their trio in this update, I guess it would have to be something related to that aesthetic. But if it's not, it's got to be one of those other trios. But as you can see from our perspective of this silhouette, it's not really giving us a crap ton of info, right? Really, the only elements that are like easy to piece out is we can see like a foot down there. We can see maybe a tail or some sort of weapon. And then whatever the heck is going on up here. Like at first sight, or what I first thought it was like a trash can almost. I don't know, it's something coming out on the top. It's so bizarre. But you'll have to forgive me. It's hard to really go into like crazy speculation about this one other than what we already know with the families that it could be rounding out and what that means. It's got to be something like, it can't be a human brawler, or if it is, they're like in some sort of like machinery or something like that, right? It just has no human like element to it, if you ask me. But with the silhouettes out of the way, let's jump into the thumbnail before we get into all the other fun speculation, because there is so much more that we got to get into in this episode. So taking a look at one of the variations of the Brawl Talk thumbnail, recently the Brawl Stars dev team have been making 3. It's just a YouTube feature. It cycles in between a few, so you guys might see something different if you're watching it now or later, whatever. But first off, let's get into a different look of the silhouette that we just got done looking at, the one that I think is going to be fitting into the Swamp of Love trio. We're seeing some weird protrusions coming off the hand, and then that like what I think is going to be like a snorkel of some sort, definitely fitting into the Swamp of Love. Like, come on, right? Is that like a mushroom coming off of like the bug tail, whatever it is? But then finally we have the app logo here. It's giving like Aztec vibes, or Aztec or jungly, I don't know. Some of the theories that we had leading into this update was like a farm aspect, like farmland or that type of vibe for the theme, but it's given like jungle, wood, could still be farm, right? We'll have to wait and see, but I suppose none of the theories that we've brought forth have been completely negated yet, which is pretty good. Then really all that we have left is like some semblances of things in the background, but nothing crazy or anything like that. It's pretty basic. But then finally, as you guys might be able to tell, we are trudging through this pretty dang quick because I want to get into further speculation about this and some important things that people have caught on to. But my favorite part by far, we have the sneak peek photo on Brawl Stars social medias. The caption, "Get your ticket ready for Brawl Talk." Hashtag Brawl Stars airs tomorrow, with one of the craziest sneak peek photos here that we've gotten in a long time. This one might take a little bit of a longer dissection. Now, there is a lot of stuff going on, like a lot of people and stuff like that, but I don't think like a crap like, oh, are these 4 new brawlers, right? That type of thing. Like a lot of this we can kind of push to the side, right? It's just filler. But there are a ton of very important elements that I think are related to the update. The very first one that I wanted to point out is a lot of people are thinking that this is the newest brawler, one of the newest brawlers. And that information that I had mentioned earlier from this sneak peek photo, giving us maybe like a look at that like appendage that's coming off his or her body, or it, if it's a bug. But it's got like that little point at the end, so maybe like a scorpion tail or like a caterpillar tail, something along those lines. I believe we're seeing like a head popping out, like they're hiding, and then we can see that snorkel as well, I think. Really, really interesting. So one of our predictions was the Swamp of Love trio, and I believe that one's pretty much so set in stone. I don't know what other trio that has 2 brawlers in it would have something like this fitting in there, right? Either way, can't wait to see what their mechanics do. So now that we got that out of the way, we have other really important details to piece out here. Getting into the very first one, we might have finally an explanation for that freaking sheep profile icon, bro. It's coming full circle. We got the sheep popping up here in the photo, and it's looking really, really interesting. So people still don't know if this has something to do with a collab or something like that. I'm not sure, but this might be further explanation for a potential farm update. It's hard to say, but we do see some really interesting like anatomy to the sheep, where it kind of looks like a sheep on the bottom, but then we have like another additional fluff on top. Here's what I'm thinking. This could be something related to the collab that we need further information about. But if you ask me, it kind of looks like someone's riding the sheep. Like there's like an article of clothing and then maybe like a leg or like someone hugging it, right? And then maybe this like additional poof is someone's hair, which could be an explanation for that other silhouette. So maybe a new brawler, a skin of some sort, maybe like a Nita skin, who knows, or collab, right? Something having to do with some unknown element that we would need to know in order to have this explanation. Either way, we'll just have to wait and see on that one, but we have some sort of information about that freaking sheep profile icon, man. It was maddening. Now, getting into the next important element, there are so many important elements in this photo, I tell you, but we have 3 different helmets. Dude, we got the cat licking himself in one of the most important shots of the sneak peek. They did it on purpose, guaranteed. So this could be skin related, which most of the time, these like elements that pop up in this sneak peek photo, a lot of the time they are skin related, but people are thinking it could be theme related as well. It's so funny how this is all kind of coming together. We just talked about this after such a long time in our last video. We might have done a good job with the speculation leading up to this update, but if you didn't know, this was a survey that was dished out a very long time ago that gave potential themes that could be coming out in the future, right? Gauging interest in these themes that Brawl Stars presents. And the one that makes a lot of sense and maybe a possible explanation for the 3 helmets is the 3 kingdoms there at the bottom. So not really tied to any like skin sets or anything like that, so maybe a brand new theme, but definitely fitting that vibe, right? Whenever it comes to things in these photos, if you have no real explanation for it, it's got to be something new. And seeing that we have like 3 helmets facing each other, could be like 3 different factions, 3 kingdoms, right? So there's a few other important elements, dude. I told you there's a crap ton to this freaking photo, man. One in particular that got some people talking is the fact that there's a lot of cats in the photo. I don't know if that means anything super important, just an element that I think we should keep in the back of our minds. We got that white cat, this orange cat, and then the spotted cat up here. Next important details, we have Mortis over here on the top right with his weapon being way different than any other skin that he has. So pretty sure this means Mortis is going to be getting a skin in this update. And then I think the final other important bit here, unless I'm missing something, is there's this like really interesting trail going throughout the photo. We have like these dots that people sometimes are intrigued about. And if we follow it, it loops around here, it goes around, it loops around, we can track it, keeps going around. Looks like Cordelia sees it or he's staring at the mushrooms. But if you follow it, I think it leads to this like new brawler, right? Kind of tracks into there and doesn't go any further. Oh, I missed this gray cat. But if you follow it, I think it leads to this like new brawler, right? Kind of tracks into there and doesn't go any further. Maybe just a little trail to show or lead you to this bit and kind of just like showing that it's important. Other than that, I don't know, maybe it could be an Easter egg that I'm not connecting in my brain to these dots. Looks like B sees it too. Are they like ants or something? Little ants, like a trail of ants? Super, super interesting. And I think that's just about everything that we can get from here. All right, we got a few other things to get into here. Taking a look at a tweet from BTLN. Just other important speculations and theories that might be tied to the next updates. They noticed that the next Megapig doesn't have a timer, so this could be leading to a potential new club event coming out in the update. And as we know, Frank had said that we should have some sort of collab going on, so we're kind of used to like club events tied into like collabs or themes from the update. So I believe it just is pointing out that we have something special club-wise for this next update. But then the final bit of somewhat relevant information that we have here in the community, taking a look at a tweet from Chosen, the duration of this Brawl Talk should be 10 minutes and 46 seconds. It used to be pretty dang good information to have that duration, but it's kind of across the board. We don't really necessarily know what that's going to translate to. But yeah, I think that's just about everything that we can do here. Pretty exciting times here inside of Brawl Stars. Again, make sure to stay tuned for that Brawl Talk breakdown here tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel. Hopefully our predictions come true. Hey, did we do a good job this time around? I hope so, man. I try my best every single update. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Adios. Take care.